The morning feels calm. The sky is soft and clear. The water in the harbor barely moves. Most people are still asleep. Some sailors wake up slowly. Some laugh. Some think about breakfast. It feels like a normal Sunday. In the distance, engines begin to hum. At first, they sound harmless, like planes passing by, like training flights. No one feels worried. The sun rises higher. Light touches the ships. Steel bodies rest quietly in the water. Flags hang still. Then something feels wrong. The sound grows louder, faster, closer. A few sailors look up and squint at the sky. The planes are flying low, too low. Someone notices the shape of the wings. Someone sees the markings. They do not belong there. There is a short pause, a moment of silence, a moment where the mind refuses to accept the truth. Then the shock arrives. Not everyone understands at once. Some think it is an accident. Some think it is a drill. Some freeze where they stand. Orders do not come fast enough. Phones ring with no answers. Messages cross each other in confusion. The calm morning breaks apart. Men run across decks. Boots strike metal floors. Voices shout, then shout louder. Some sailors search for weapons. Others look for officers. Many do not know where to go. The sky is no longer quiet. Planes move like shadows overhead. Fast, precise. The harbor that once felt safe now feels trapped. Ships sit close together with little room to move. Smoke begins to rise. Not everywhere. Not yet. But enough to spread fear. The air smells different. Sharp. Heavy. Some men jump into the water. Not to fight. Just to survive. Others stay where they are. They help each other. They follow orders when they hear them. They act even when they are afraid. Fear spreads quickly. But so does courage. No one knows how long this will last. No one knows if help is coming. No one knows if this is only the beginning. Across the harbor, alarms finally scream. Too late, but loud enough to wake the entire island. Families nearby hear the noise. They look outside. They see smoke. They do not understand yet. This attack does not begin with a warning. It does not begin with a speech. It begins with silence. In this moment, something important changes. A nation that believed it was far away from war now feels the war at its door. This is not just about ships or planes. It is about shock, about trust breaking, about safety disappearing in seconds. For the men in the harbor, there is no time to think about history. There is only the present moment, the sound, the fear, the need to act. For the leaders far away, the news will come later. For now, this place stands alone. The ocean that once protected this land has been crossed. The distance that once felt safe no longer matters. As the smoke rises higher, one truth becomes clear. This morning will not be forgotten. The world before this moment is already gone. What happened in this harbor matters far beyond this island. It matters far beyond this morning. It matters because this place is not just a base. It is a symbol, a promise of safety, a wall between war and home. For years, the ocean made America feel distant from danger. Two wide seas stood between this nation and the fighting world. Many believed war belonged to others. Europe was burning. Asia was breaking. But this land felt protected by distance. Pearl Harbor was part of that belief. It was a shield in the Pacific, a place where ships rested, a place meant to warn, not to be wounded. Losing that sense of safety shakes more than metal. It shakes confidence. For Japan, the pressure had been building for a long time. Its leaders believed time was running out. Resources were limited. Fuel was scarce. Expansion had brought power, but also fear. Powerful nations were closing in. The future felt narrow and dangerous. Japan believed one strong blow could change everything. A sudden strike could slow America down. It could break morale. It could buy time. Not forever. Just enough to secure control in the Pacific. From their view, Pearl Harbor was not chosen by anger alone. It was chosen by calculation. If the fleet could be damaged, America might hesitate. America might talk. America might stay out of the war. On the other side, America did not see this place as a front line. It saw it as a warning post, a safe harbor, a place to prepare, not to fight. That belief shaped every decision before this morning. Warnings existed. Signals were missed. Threats were discussed, but not deeply felt. Routine became comfort. Comfort became blindness. No one expected a full attack here. Not like this. Not now. That is why this moment matters. Not because ships were struck, but because assumptions were shattered. The idea that distance equals safety collapses in seconds. The model forces a choice. Before this morning, America could debate. It could delay. It could watch the war from afar. After this moment, there is no distance left to hide behind. For Japan, the risk is just as great. Success brings danger of its own. A wounded enemy is not always a broken enemy. Sometimes it wakes something larger, something patient, something determined. Both nations stand at a turning point. One did not want war. The other believed war was the only path left. Now, neither can step back. The harbor still burns quietly. Smoke hangs in the air. The noise fades, but the meaning grows louder. News will travel fast, across oceans, across borders, across minds. Leaders will read reports. They will study numbers. But the true impact cannot be measured in damage alone. It is measured in resolve. This battle matters because it ends hesitation. It turns shock into purpose. It turns fear into direction. The question is no longer if America will fight. The question becomes how long and how far. For Japan, the hope is simple and fragile, that this strike delays response, that it slows a giant, that fear lasts longer than anger. But hope built on surprise is unstable. This moment also matters for the people who lived through it. Sailors, families, workers. Their lives split into before and after. The memory will stay long after the smoke clears. Pearl Harbor becomes a line in time. Everything before it feels distant. Everything after it feels heavier. War is no longer an idea. It is a reality that has arrived without knocking. And once war arrives, it never leaves quietly. As the island settles into an uneasy silence, another pressure begins to press, not in the harbor, but in distant rooms, around long tables, inside the minds of those who planned, those who trusted, and those who underestimated. The battle has revealed its first truth. What felt safe was never truly safe, and what comes next will be shaped by the world that existed before this morning. Long before the first plane appeared in the sky, the path toward this moment was already set. It did not begin with engines or alarms. It began with pressure. Slow, constant, growing year by year. Across the world, nations were choosing sides. Some chose expansion. Some chose defense. Some tried to stay apart. America watched from a distance. It sold supplies. It spoke of peace. It believed oceans could keep danger away. Japan saw the world differently. It felt surrounded, cut off. Powerful nations controlled trade and resources. Fuel, steel, and food were becoming harder to secure. Each decision narrowed the future. Leaders in Japan feared one thing more than war. They feared stopping. Stopping meant weakness. Weakness meant collapse. To them, moving forward felt safer than standing still. America, meanwhile, felt strong but patient. Its industry was vast, its land untouched. Its people did not want another war. Memories of the last one were still heavy. Staying out felt wise. So warnings were softened, reports were delayed. Training drills replaced real preparation. The idea of a surprise attack here felt unlikely, almost unthinkable. Pearl Harbor became routine. Ships anchored close, crews relaxed, defenses stayed quiet. Not from carelessness, but from confidence. Confidence built on distance and habit. Diplomacy continued, but trust faded. Meetings ended without answers. Promises sounded hollow. Each side believed time was slipping away, but for different reasons. Japan believed delay favored America. Every month gave its enemy more strength, more ships, more pilots, more power. Waiting felt dangerous. America believed delay allowed peace to survive. That talks might work. That pressure would be enough. War still felt avoidable. This gap in thinking was critical. Both sides looked at the same world and saw different futures. Neither fully understood the other. Behind closed doors, plans were made. Carefully, quietly. Risk was weighed against fear. Surprise became the key. Speed became the shield. Those plans required belief. Belief that shock would confuse, that damage would slow response, that courage would break under pressure. On the other side, belief took a different shape. Belief that no enemy would dare strike so far from home. That warning would come first. That peace still had time. These beliefs shaped everything. Training, placement, readiness. And in the end, they shaped the morning that followed. By the time the sun rose over the harbor, the world before the battle was already gone. It just did not know it yet. The stage was set long before the first sound broke the air. Two nations, both certain, both afraid, both moving toward a moment neither could escape. And as silence returned to the island, far away minds were already racing, trying to understand how this could happen and how much worse it might become. Behind this attack are human minds, not machines, not fate alone. Men making choices under pressure, men carrying fear, pride, and belief into every decision. On one side are planners who believe surprise can change history. They study maps and distance. They study habits. They study routine. They know America is strong. They fear what will happen if that strength is fully awakened. The planners tell themselves this strike must be perfect. Speed matters more than safety. Silence matters more than comfort. They believe bold action can replace time they do not have. Some of them feel doubt. They know the risk is enormous. If surprise fails, the cost will be heavy. But turning back now feels worse. Turning back feels like surrender. There are pilots who think about home before takeoff. They know the mission may not forgive mistakes. Some feel pride. Some feel fear. Most feel a mix of both. They focus on training because thinking too much would break their calm. They are told this attack will protect their nation, that it will shorten the war, that it will save lives later. These words help them move forward. On the other side are commanders who do not expect war to arrive this way. They trust systems. They trust routine. They trust distance. Their belief is not foolish. It is built on years of calm. They have trained for many threats. Sabotage, small strikes, accidents, but not a full surprise attack from the sky. Not here. Not now. Some warnings reach them, pieces of information, unclear signals, nothing sharp enough to force alarm. Each warning feels incomplete, easy to delay, easy to explain away. Commanders believe that if war comes, it will come slowly, with signals, with time to respond. That belief shapes every choice. Ego also plays a role. No one wants to be the one who overreacts. No one wants to disrupt peace over a fear that may be wrong. Calm feels responsible. Calm feels safe. Yet calm can hide danger. The attackers depend on this mindset. They depend on routine, on trust, on the idea that nothing unusual will happen on a quiet morning. Inside command rooms far away, leaders wait in silence. They know once the first plane appears, there is no return. No message can stop what is already moving. They feel the weight of history pressing in. If this fails, blame will follow. If it succeeds, consequences will still come. On the ground, American officers start their day like any other. Coffee, paperwork, brief talks, no sense of urgency, no sense of threat. This contrast is critical. One side moves with sharp focus, the other moves with relaxed rhythm. That difference will decide the first hours of the battle. Neither side is evil. Neither side is careless. They are human, limited by belief, shaped by fear, guided by what they think the future holds. As the final moments before the attack pass, thoughts narrow. Pilots focus on targets. Commanders trust their plans. Defenders trust the peace they have known. The sky becomes the meeting place of these minds. Belief against belief. Assumption against reality. When the first signs of danger appear, decision time collapses. Seconds replace hours. Instinct replaces planning. Some leaders will act fast. Others will hesitate. Not from weakness, but from shock. The world they trusted no longer matches what they see. This is where war truly begins. Not with the first strike, but with the moment when plans meet fear. The minds that shaped this attack will soon lose control of it. Once chaos begins, no commander fully commands. No plan survives unchanged. As engines roar closer and shadows move across the water, thought gives way to action. And in that instant, the battle ignites. The sound arrives first, a deep, rolling noise that fills the sky. It does not fade. It grows. It presses down on the harbor and makes the air feel heavy. Men look up again. This time, there is no doubt. The shapes are clear now. The speed is wrong. The path is direct. This is no drill. The first reactions are slow, not from weakness, but from shock. Minds struggle to catch up with what eyes are seeing. Training says one thing, reality says another. Then the harbor explodes into motion. Alarms begin to scream. Not together. Not clean. One starts, then another, then another. Their sound mixes with shouting voices and running feet. Orders are given twice, sometimes 3 times, sometimes not at all. Some men rush toward their stations, others hesitate, unsure which orders to follow. Smoke begins to rise in thin lines. It spreads across the water and climbs into the sky. Planes sweep low, fast, focused. They move with purpose, not chaos. Their path is planned. Every second matters. Below them, the harbor feels trapped. Ships sit close together. Tall masts and metal walls block movement. There is nowhere to hide. The first hits come quickly. Not everyone sees them. Not everyone understands what they mean. But everyone feels the change. The air shakes. The water jumps. The ground seems to move. Confusion spreads faster than fear. Some men run toward danger because it feels better than standing still. Others help the wounded without knowing who they are helping. Rank disappears. Uniforms blur. Only action matters. Weapons are not ready. Some are locked. Some lack power. Some are missing parts. Hands shake as men work faster than they ever have before. Above, the attackers move with cold speed. They have trained for this moment again and again. Their instructions are clear. Their time is limited. They cannot stay long. They do not see faces below. They see shapes, targets, lines they memorized in training rooms far away. They focus because thinking about anything else would slow them down. On the ground, communication breaks. Messages arrive late. Some never arrive at all. Phones ring into silence. Runners carry orders that are already outdated. Leadership becomes instinct. Whoever knows what to do steps forward. Whoever can move, moves. The harbor fills with noise. Engines, shouts, sirens, the sound of metal under stress. It is overwhelming. It is constant. Fear settles in, but it does not stop action. It sharpens it. Men move with urgency because standing still feels dangerous. Some ships try to respond. Slowly, awkwardly. They were never meant to fight like this. Not at rest. Not so close together. They do what they can. Others are unable to move at all. They become silent witnesses, trapped by location and timing. Above them, attackers race against the clock. Fuel burns fast. Surprise will not last forever. Every pass matters. Every missed second costs something. The sky feels crowded. Planes cross paths. Smoke blurs vision. The sun, once gentle, now shines through haze and shadow. On land nearby, families hear the chaos. Windows shake. The ground trembles. People step outside in fear. They see smoke rising from places that were always calm. No one explains anything. Radios go silent or speak in fragments. Rumors begin instantly, louder than truth. Back in the harbor, time feels broken. Minutes stretch. Seconds vanish. No one knows how long the attack has been happening. It feels endless. Bravery appears in small moments. A man guiding others through smoke. Someone carrying the injured to safety. Someone staying at a post longer than expected. There is no celebration, no shouting of victory, only effort, only survival. For the attackers, the plan begins to slip. Smoke hides targets. Damage is uneven. Some goals are reached, others are not. The perfect strike becomes imperfect reality. They must decide quickly. Stay longer and risk everything, or leave with what they have done. Below, defenders begin to understand. This is not random. This is deliberate. This is planned. And it is not finished yet. The harbor, once a place of rest, has become a battlefield without borders. Water, air, land, all connected in fear and motion. As the attack continues, one truth becomes clear. Control is gone. No one fully commands this moment anymore. Plans dissolve. Instinct takes over. Courage and confusion walk side by side. And as the noise slowly begins to thin, a heavy silence waits just beyond it. A silence filled with questions, with loss, with the knowledge that nothing will return to how it was before. The battle is no longer a surprise. It is a reality, and its consequences are only beginning to unfold. The story is not finished yet. As the attack continues, moments appear where everything could change. Not loud moments, quiet ones, decisions made in seconds that carry weight far beyond the harbor. Some commanders hesitate. They wait for clearer orders. They wait for confirmation. In war, waiting can feel responsible, but waiting also costs time. And time is the one thing no one has. Other commanders act without permission. They break routine. They move ships when movement feels dangerous. They organize defense with whatever is available. These choices are not perfect, but they matter. Above the harbor, the attackers face their own choices. Smoke hides targets. Confusion spreads even among those who planned everything. The scene below no longer matches the maps they studied. Some targets are damaged, others remain untouched. The question becomes simple and dangerous. Do they press deeper, or do they leave now? Fuel is running low. Surprise is fading. The longer they stay, the greater the risk. Staying promises more damage. Leaving promises survival. This is the moment where courage and caution collide. Some pilots push forward, driven by duty and belief. Others pull back, knowing that one mistake could trap them far from home. Neither choice is easy. Neither feels safe. Back on the ground, defenders begin to respond more clearly. Weapons start to work. Coordination slowly improves. Not enough to stop everything, but enough to change the balance. This shift is subtle, but real. The attackers feel it. The sky no longer belongs to them alone. A critical decision is made. The order comes to pull away. Not because the mission failed, but because the risk has grown too high. This choice shapes the entire war that follows. By leaving when they do, the attackers save their force. But they also leave behind something powerful. They leave behind America's ability to recover faster than expected. Key resources remain untouched. Critical strength survives. What was meant to weaken an enemy, instead, awakens it. On the American side, another decision forms quietly. Shock turns into resolve. Fear turns into focus. This was not just an attack. It is a message. Leaders will later debate what could have been done differently. More patrols, better warnings, faster action. But in this moment, blame does not matter. What matters is what comes next. As the final planes disappear into the distance, the harbor stands damaged but alive. Smoke hangs heavy. Water carries debris. Silence returns slowly, unevenly. Men look around and realize they are still standing, still breathing, still capable of response. This realization changes everything. The idea that America has been defeated dies quickly. Instead, a different thought takes hold. This cannot be allowed to happen again. For Japan, the feeling is mixed. Pride in success, unease in what was left undone. They struck hard, but not deep enough. For America, the lesson is harsh and clear. Distance is not protection. Routine is not defense. Peace cannot be assumed. These turning points do not look dramatic from afar. No flags rise, no speeches echo across the harbor. But history bends here. Small choices, short delays. One order given, one order withheld. This is how wars truly turn. As night approaches, exhaustion sets in. Men sit where they stand. Some stare at the water. Some help others without speaking. Words feel too small. The harbor is quiet now, but the silence is different from before. It is heavy, alert, watchful. Messages are sent across oceans. Reports are written through shaking hands. The world begins to understand what has happened. The battle itself is over, but the consequences are just beginning. What remains is survival, and with survival comes determination. The next phase of this story will not be shaped by surprise. It will be shaped by memory, and memory is a powerful weapon. The story is still unfolding. When the noise fades, the true weight of the battle begins to settle. Not all at once. Slowly. Quietly. It moves through the harbor like a heavy shadow. Men begin to notice how tired they are. Not just in their bodies, but in their minds. Fear drains energy faster than any hard work. Some sit down where they stand. Others keep moving because stopping feels dangerous. The air is thick. Smoke hangs low and stings the eyes. Breathing feels harder than it should. Every breath reminds them of what just happened. Some sailors call out names. Friends, crewmates. Voices echo back with no answer. Silence becomes frightening in its own way. Medics work without pause. They move from one person to another. Hands steady, faces tight. There is no time to think about the scale of what has happened. Only the person in front of them matters. Help comes from unexpected places. Cooks, clerks, mechanics. Anyone who can carry, guide, or comfort steps forward. In moments like this, job titles disappear. Many are in shock. They walk without direction. They stare at damage as if trying to understand how something familiar can look so different. Their minds struggle to accept what their eyes see. Some men replay the morning again and again in their heads. The sound of engines, the first alarms, the moment fear took hold. These memories settle deep and do not leave easily. Others focus on simple tasks. Cleaning, moving equipment, standing watch. Routine becomes a way to regain control, even if the world still feels broken. Nearby, families wait. They listen for news. They count the hours. Radios bring fragments of information, but not enough. Waiting becomes its own kind of pain. Parents look at the harbor from a distance and feel helpless. Wives wonder if their loved ones are safe. Children sense fear, even if they do not understand it. No speeches reach them yet. No clear answers, only smoke in the distance and silence where certainty used to be. As the day turns into evening, exhaustion deepens. Some men finally rest, only to wake suddenly at every sound. The sky feels threatening now. Every passing plane, even friendly ones, raises tension. Sleep does not come easily. When it does, it is broken. Filled with noise that no longer exists. Filled with images that feel too real. Loss becomes clearer as time passes. Not in numbers, but in absence. A missing voice, an empty bunk, a familiar face that does not appear again. Grief is quiet here. There is no time for ceremony, no space for long mourning. Pain is carried silently, shared only through looks and brief words. Yet even in grief, there is resolve. Men speak softly about what must be done, about staying ready, about protecting each other, about making sure this never happens again. No one celebrates survival. Survival feels heavy. It carries responsibility. Across the island, the same feeling spreads, the sense that innocence has been taken away, that the world has become sharper, harsher, and more dangerous. The human cost of this battle is not just in the moment of attack. It stretches forward, into memory, into fear that returns without warning, into lives that will never feel the same. Some will carry scars that cannot be seen. Loud sounds will always make them tense. Quiet mornings will never feel completely safe again. Others will carry stories they struggle to tell. Words will fail them. Silence will feel easier. Yet from this pain, bonds form, stronger than before. Men who shared fear trust each other deeply. They know what the other endured. That understanding lasts. This cost is paid by people, not nations, by individuals who did not choose this morning, but were changed by it. As night fully settles, lights remain low. Watches are doubled. No one fully relaxes. The harbor rests, but it does not sleep. The battle may be over, but its echo lives on in every sound, every thought, every careful glance at the sky. And in this quiet, a new truth takes hold. War has a human price that cannot be measured in damage alone. It is measured in fear remembered, in strength found under pressure, in lives forever divided into before and after. This chapter of the story is not about victory or defeat. It is about endurance, and endurance will be tested again soon. When the night passes, a hard question hangs in the air. Who won this battle? The answer is not simple. It does not fit into one word. It does not feel complete. On the surface, the attackers struck first. They surprised their enemy. They damaged ships. They caused shock. By many measures, it looks like success. The plan worked in the moment. But victory in war is not only about what happens today. It is about what remains tomorrow. As the smoke clears, American forces begin to count what they still have. Not with pride, with urgency. They look at ships that can still move, at tools that still work, at people who are still ready. They realize something important. The nation is hurt, but not broken. The heart of American strength is still alive. Industry is unmatured. Repair is possible. Training can continue. The ability to respond remains strong. This realization spreads quietly. From officers to sailors, from bases to command rooms far away. The damage is real. The loss is heavy. But the future is not lost. For the attackers, the feeling is mixed. They return believing they have struck a powerful blow. They believe they have bought time. But they also sense something missing. Some targets were left behind. Some opportunities passed by. The enemy is wounded, but not helpless. This creates unease. A quiet worry that grows as reports are reviewed. Success feels incomplete, and incomplete success carries danger. In America, survival quickly turns into resolve. Shock turns into unity. Debate fades. Arguments disappear. The question of whether to fight no longer exists. People who once hoped to stay out of war now feel pulled into it together. Anger mixes with purpose. Fear turns into determination. The battle has taken something from them, but it has also given something back. Clarity. For many, this clarity feels heavy. War is no longer distant. It is personal. It has names, faces, places. Survival becomes a form of victory, not because it feels good, but because it proves something important. That even after surprise and loss, strength remains. This does not erase grief. It does not heal wounds, but it changes the direction of pain. Pain now fuels action. For Japan, the outcome is dangerous in a different way. They have proven they can strike far. They have shown skill and courage. But they have also awakened a powerful enemy. What was meant to slow America may instead push it forward faster than ever before. Victory that creates a stronger enemy carries a hidden cost. As leaders study reports, they begin to understand this risk. The attack did not end American power. It focused it. This realization comes too late to change what has already happened. For those who lived through the battle, the idea of winning or losing feels distant. They measure the day differently. In survival, in loss avoided, in lives saved. Some feel relief, others feel emptiness. Many feel both at once. There is no celebration, no cheers, only quiet movement, repair, recovery, preparation. The harbor becomes a place of work again, not rest, not comfort, but readiness. In the days that follow, the story spreads across the world. Headlines appear. Radios speak non-stop. The meaning of the battle grows larger than the place where it happened. Allies listen closely. Enemies watch carefully. Neutral nations reconsider their positions. The battle sends a message that cannot be ignored. War has expanded, and it will not shrink back. Victory, defeat, or survival. Each word holds part of the truth. None of them hold all of it. What truly happened here is a shift, a turning of direction, a closing of one path and the opening of another. The attackers leave, having proven their reach. The defenders remain, having discovered their resolve. This balance will shape everything that comes next. As repairs begin and plans change, one thing becomes clear to both sides. The war that follows will be longer and harder than anyone hoped. The battle ends, but its influence does not. It moves outward, across oceans, across time, into every decision that follows. And as the world adjusts to this new reality, the full weight of what this battle set in motion begins to reveal itself. The morning attack is over, but the war it awakened is only beginning. The impact of this battle does not stay in the harbor. It moves outward, fast and far, across offices, factories, and homes, across oceans and borders. The world begins to shift. In America, the response is immediate. Decisions that once took months are made in days. Factories change their purpose. Quiet towns turn into centers of work. The nation moves with a speed few thought possible. Training accelerates. Plans grow bolder. The shock of the attack sharpens focus. Mistakes are studied closely. Comfort is removed. Readiness becomes the new normal. The ocean is no longer seen as a wall. It is seen as a road that must be controlled. Naval strategy changes. Air power gains new importance. Lessons are learned the hard way. For Japan, The aftermath brings both confidence and concern. The strike proves their reach, it proves their skill, but it also reveals limits. They did not stop America. They challenged it. Leaders debate what comes next. Some push for expansion, believing speed is still the key. Others worry that time is now against them. The enemy they hope to delay is waking fully. Allies around the world react. Some feel relief that America is no longer distant. Others feel fear that the war has grown larger and closer. Neutral nations realize staying apart may no longer be possible. The balance of the war changes quietly. Not in one day, but in direction. A force that once hesitated now commits completely. Pearl Harbor becomes a reason used in speeches, in letters, in quiet moments of resolve. It becomes a symbol of what happens when warning is ignored and strength is underestimated. Military leaders on all sides study this battle for lessons. About surprise, about readiness, about the danger of believing peace will last on its own. These lessons travel into future battles, into planning rooms, into training fields. The memory of this morning shapes decisions long after the smoke fades. For the people who lived through it, the aftermath is personal. Life does not return to how it was. The sound of planes is never just sound again. The calm of mornings feels different. Some carry pride in having endured. Others carry grief that never fully lifts. Many carry both. Pearl Harbor becomes more than a place. It becomes a reminder. That power invites challenge. That comfort invites risk. That history can change in a single morning. Years will pass. Stories will be told and retold. Details will be debated. But the meaning remains steady. This battle shows how quickly certainty can disappear, how fragile safety can be, how human belief shapes war as much as weapons do. It also shows something else, that people can endure shock, that nations can rise from surprise, that resolve can grow from fear. Pearl Harbor is remembered not because it was the largest battle, not because it ended the war, but because it changed its direction. It marks the moment when waiting ended and action began, when distance lost its power, when a quiet morning reshaped the world. The lesson is not about anger alone. It is about awareness, about humility, about the cost of underestimating others and ourselves. War is not just fought with force. It is fought with judgment, with preparation, with the ability to see danger before it arrives. Pearl Harbor stands as a warning written in memory, a reminder that peace must be protected, not assumed. The harbor is calm again today. The water moves gently. The sky looks open and wide. But the silence carries history, and that history still speaks. Even after the war moves on, this moment never truly fades. It stays alive in memory, not because of noise or fire, but because of what it revealed about human limits. Pearl Harbor is remembered as a lesson written in surprise. It shows how confidence can turn into blindness, how routine can replace readiness, how believing it will not happen here can be the most dangerous thought of all. It also shows the power of reaction, how people respond when the unthinkable happens. Fear did not end action. Confusion did not erase courage. In the worst moments, many chose to help, to stay, to act. This battle reminds us that war is shaped by minds as much as by machines, by belief, by fear, by pride, by delay. A single wrong assumption can open the door to disaster. A single clear decision can change direction. Pearl Harbor teaches that distance is not safety. that peace without preparation is fragile, that strength unused can invite challenge, but it also teaches resilience, that being struck does not mean being defeated, that recovery can be faster than destruction, that unity can grow from shock. For those who lived through it, Pearl Harbor is not history. It is a feeling, a sound remembered, a morning that never fully ends. It lives in quiet thoughts and sudden memories. For the world, it stands as a turning point, a reminder that history does not always announce itself. Sometimes it arrives quietly, at dawn, when people least expect it. Pearl Harbor is not just about America or Japan. It is about human judgment under pressure, about how choices made in fear or confidence can echo across generations. The harbor itself has returned to calm. Ships move again. Water reflects the sky. Time has softened the edges, but not the meaning. Because this place holds a warning. That power must be guarded wisely. That peace demands attention. That the cost of ignoring danger is always higher than the cost of preparing for it. Pearl Harbor changed the course of a war. But more than that, it changed how the world understands surprise, readiness, and resolve. It reminds us that history does not turn only on great speeches or long campaigns. Sometimes it turns in a single morning. And once it turns, there is no going back.